Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week. I am hopping on here to start a review session for you. We are going to wrap up this unit next week. We're going to take our test. So this is your last little bit of review before that test. It's set up in a Google form. So after you finish this video, you can hop over to go back to your Google Slides and you will see it on the next slide. There'll be a link for you to click to go to the Google form. It's set up like a quiz in Google form, and so you can only take it once. So take your time, read your questions carefully. Don't start the Google form until you're ready to sit down and actually go through all the questions. There's 14 questions, and it'll grade it for you as you go. You'll see if you got them, or maybe at the end it tells you what your grade is. I can't remember exactly how it works once you submit. Anyway, before you start that, I'm going to do a few questions with you that are actually in that Google form review as well. So grab a sheet of paper and something to write with.
All right, I am going to start by doing number 1. So on your paper, go ahead and number it number 1, and this will be number 1 on your Google form quiz as well. So free answers coming at you. A grocery store polls every 20th customer to determine if they are satisfied with the cleanliness of the store. 40 customers are surveyed, and 26 are satisfied. What conclusion can be drawn for the 800 daily customers? All right, so there's 40 total. 26 are satisfied. So we're trying to find what is true about this data. Letter A says 65% of the customers are unsatisfied with the cleanliness of the store. Well, let's think about this. If there's 40 total and 26 are satisfied, then how many are unsatisfied? I would get 14 out of 40, and I want to know what percent that is. Well, I can't get from 14 to 40, so the easiest thing to do would be to simplify this. If I divide by 2 on top and 2 on bottom, then I get 7 out of 20, and now I can get to 100. How do I get from 20 to 100? Well, that's times 5, and 7 times 5 is 35. So 35% are unsatisfied, so no, that's false. Of the 800 customers, 520 would be satisfied with the cleanliness of the store. Satisfied was 26 out of 40. And it said if there were 800 total, then 520 would be satisfied. So if it helps, you can always label satisfied over total, or here this was unsatisfied over total. You can label it if that helps you remember where to put the numbers. So I'm solving for how many would there be. So to get from 40 to 80 would be times 20. And so I'm going to do 26 times 20. And I get 520. So is that true or false? It's true. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So number 1 is B. Then I'm going to jump over and do number 10. This will be number 10 on your Google form as well. So free answers coming at you again. Below is data collected from a random sample of 40 people at the public library. If the public library has 300 people, then which of the following conclusions can be drawn? So same type of scenario, we're talking about a certain sample number of people and then working towards a prediction for the 300. So this is the sample that they took, and we're going to make predictions about the 300. We're trying to find which one is true again. Exactly 42% of the library patrons chose mystery. All right, so mystery has 18. That's 18 out of 40. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Okay, that's 18 out of 40. And then I've got to figure out how many, what percent that would be. Again, just like on problem number 1, I can't get from 40 to 100, but I can simplify this. Again, if I simplify by 2, that makes this a much easier problem to work with. Now, I can get from 20 to 100. That would be times 5. And 9 times 5 is 45. So 45%. So is that 42%? No. Nonfiction and science fiction represent over half of the selections. So nonfiction is 12, science fiction is 10. 12 plus 10 makes 22. If that's 22 out of 40 total, is that over a half? Yes, it is. So B is the correct answer. And I could go on and make sure that the rest of these are false. Over 25% of library patrons chose a science fiction book. Well, science fiction was 10 out of 40. That's going to be exactly 25%. So that's not true. 136 total patrons can be expected to choose a nonfiction. Nonfiction is 12 out of 40. And if there were 300 total patrons, I can't get from 40 to 300, but I can simplify this. I would divide it by 4 this time. I get 3 out of 10. Then that's really easy to get from 10 to 300. That would be times 30, so 3 times 30 is 90. So no, that's not 136. So for number 10, B was the correct answer. And then I'm going to do one more for you guys. I'm going to do number 12. Okay? It goes with this circle graph here. It says a small business creates a circle graph to chart their expenses. Use the graph to answer questions 11 and 12. So in March, Mrs. Jones' business spent $480 on raw materials. Based on this information, how much money was spent on business expenses in March? Well, all of it is business expenses. So it's asking how much total was spent. So let's go look. Raw materials is 30%. That's 30 out of 100. And again, if it helps, set it up. Write the little letters. That's raw materials out of total. Because now, this is backwards from what we're used to. If they spent $480 on raw materials, I want to know the total. So $480 is actually going to go in the numerator. I'm solving for the denominator. I can simplify this if that makes it easier, but 30 does go into 480. If you take off those zeros, 3 does go into 448. It's times 16. I just happen to know that, but if you don't know that, you can divide it to figure that out. Okay? 3 goes into 4 one time, subtract, bring down. 3 goes into 18 6 times, so I get 16. So then 100 times 16 makes 1,600 total dollars. So the answer for number 12 is A. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop here.
Okay, so there were 3 easy free answers for your Google Form quiz. Now go back to your Google Slides and go to the next slide, and you'll be able to read what to do for the Google Form. Make sure you have a sheet of paper where you're keeping track of your answers, because next week on Monday, I'm going to make a video going over the review, and then you'll be able to ask any questions that you have. And then the test will probably go live on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So I want to give you all some time to be able to ask questions and get some feedback. So the test will be either on Tuesday or Wednesday. I hope that you're having a good week, and let me know if you have any questions or need any help with anything. Talk to you soon.